and Lefora. Okay, so I hope that you'll be we'll be able to help you in any way. I'd like to say thank you to Brian for giving us his time. I know he has a lot of reasons or excuses not to do this, but he gave us his time. Thank you, Brian.
Hi
Okay,
there.
now we're live. Hi, everyone. Hi. So,
Hi, good
Hi
morning here in
there.
Saudi
Hi.
Arabia.
yeah, so live in the US,
Live
Brian.
from the UK.
Yeah, so it's good to see Janelle virtually. Yeah, again, it's
Yes, thank you
online.
so much for having me.
Yeah, it's our first time to also meet Janelle. Actually, the reason why we're doing this live, even if it's all first time, I know the anxiety's there, but it's good that you feel that because that sugar rush that you don't know who's going
Mm,
to be interviewing you or asking questions is something that you also feel when you do your speaking tests, right? In
yeah,
the actual
yeah,
test. So Brian,
definitely.
anything that you'd like to say or ask before we're going to start with a formal interview?
No, it's just great to see that you're in Saudi. It's freezing cold here in the UK, and we had a lot of storms and snow and everything the last few weeks. So it's good to speak to people in warmer climates.
Oh
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here in the US as well, I think we also have
Mm,
we've been experiencing fog since not this morning, but I think that was last week. But good thing now sunshine is coming
mhm,
out, so we are enjoying it actually. But it's still cold. I can still say that it's
yeah.
really cold. So how
Mhm.
about you? How's the temperature there in Saudi?
It's very warm here. Sure, but it's getting a little colder now because it's getting winter also. But most of the time it's warm, really warm.
Oh, okay. So what's your plan? Where do you plan to live or work? Should I say work and live in the US?
Work and live in the US. I I don't have preference actually, but if I will be given the chance, maybe in California
Oh,
or
oh.
in San Diego because I have relatives there.
Okay. For a
Mm,
start, it's really good to start in California, but there are just few employers here. Lucky if you have
mm,
employers here in California. I would say yes, wish you the best, but usually they would start in Florida, South Dakota, or North
mm,
Dakota, Missouri. These are just, yeah, Texas as well. So
mm-mm.
good that you don't have any preference because I think that would also give you a leeway among others who
Yeah,
prefer to stay here. So yeah, I mean for a start, I think it's okay,
yeah. For a start, it's fine
yeah,
with
for a
me.
start. You should say you can put me anywhere, somewhere cold
Yeah,
because I've been living in a hot place, so somewhere cold.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm,
I think we're all ready. We're all set. So before we're going to start, we just want to say that we are from Linguist Access Tutorial. We're doing this all for free, although we have regular classes. But for this, we are giving it all for free for not just for you, but of course for all our viewers. We are inviting you. If you think you need this or somebody needs this, we would love if you are going to like this page, our YouTube channel, as well as share this to your friend or share it to someone you think who needs this program because like I said, we're all busy people, but we also want to make a difference. And I think this is one way of
mm.
showing to the world that in our little way we can also make a difference and help other people. Yes. Brian, did I say it right?
yes, yes, you did.
Okay, so we'll start. I'll give the floor to Brian. So Brian will do all the interview from part 1 to 3. Then
Mhm.
after that, I'm gonna make my comments.
Okay, so firstly, I'm interested, Janelle. Have you taken IELTS before?
Yeah, I have taken IELTS before, way back 2018. During that
Okay.
time, mm-mm,
And,
way
and
back
what result did you
2018.
get?
If my memory serves me right, I had the band score of 7 in speaking and 6.5 in reading. Band score of 6 in listening, and 6.5 in reading.
So you already got
in
a 7 in your speaking before, so you should be well on the way then.
I hope and I pray
Yes.
that I will be able to
Yes.
get a band score of 7 again.
Okay. So what we're going to do is what we're trying to do here is we're trying to put you under the pressure of a real exam. So I'm been the examiner, like been a native speaker, trying to get people to get used to the pressure of a native speaker asking you these questions, trying to go through it as authentically as possible, and then afterwards we will get the
comments
and feedback. So
okay.
so as you know, we're going to start now. Okay, so good morning, my name is Brian Wren. Can I have your full name and see your passport, please?
My name is Janelle Sevilla, and here is my passport.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to start now. So can I ask you, are you working or studying?
I am currently working here in Saudi Arabia as a registered nurse, and I've been here for 5 years already.
Okay. What's your responsibility in your job?
I am assigned in medical surgical ICU ward, in which we cater critical care patients.
And do you like your job?
Probably yes. I love most part of my job. I enjoyed being a nurse here, and I can say that it's one of the best things that happened in my life.
Okay. And what do you dislike about your job?
The schedule, for sure. We are having a 12-hour shift every day, and very minimal day offs because of the shortage of the staff.
Okay. Now I want you to get an extra piece of paper, and I want you to think about the question for 1 minute, and then you get 2 minutes to talk about it.
Thank you.
And the question is, describe a house or apartment you would like to live in. So your 1 minute starts now.
The question is also flashed on the screen, so you can.
After you go.
Okay, you may start talking now.
I am currently living now in accommodation, which is provided by the hospital. I've been staying here in Saudi Arabia for 5 years already. But if I would to choose a place to live in, I would probably choose to live in a countryside. A countryside in which there is less stress, more trees, and mountains. I would love to live in a countryside because I think the life there would be much easier and much peaceful, other than the stressful life in the city. One of the activities I love doing is camping, and for sure I would definitely do that in the future. Aside from camping, I would also love to watch the stars in the sky while drinking coffee and having chit chat with my loved ones. It's nice to spend quality time with your family. I would definitely want to live there with my family, especially with my son. I've been looking forward to it um, si- for a long time since I've been gone for 5 years already, and I've been away with my son that long. So, uh, living in a countryside uh, will uh, will give us more chances to spend quality time with each other. Uh, I wanted to catch up with him, to catch up with the times that I've
Okay,
been
thank
lost while
you.
I was away. Mm.
Thank you. Okay. So do you think it's better to rent or to buy a place to live in?
Uh, Personally, I think it's better to buy a place than to rent in, because initially it uh, it it um, it might be costly, but in the long run, you can actually save more money than on renting.
Mhm. Okay, how easy is it to find a place to live in your country?
In the Philippines, it's not really hard to find a place to live in, for as long as there's uh, available lot, a small place. You can just build houses mm, you can build houses with manually with your hands using uh, a wood, and you can build a simple house already.
Okay.
Not unlike in the other places that you need a lot of things in able to construct a house. In the Philippines, it's quite really easy. If you are a simple person, you can have a simple house in an instant.
Okay. So do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents?
Actually, no. For as long as they want to stay with their parents, it's not an issue for me at all. Personally, I would love to stay with my parents as much as possible, because we don't know. Our parents might be gone for nobody knows. So for me, as much as you want to stay with your parents, it's not an issue for me at all.
Okay. So what options are available to young couples looking for accommodation in your country?
Well, aside from renting, uh, there's a lot of options now that like house and lot that you will pay in installments. If you don't have enough money to pay a big amount of money, you can actually pay in an installment, whether it's a 12-month period or a 2-year period. There are options like that in the Philippines.
So could you describe some of the pleasures involved of making a home for yourself?
Mm, for me, I'm a very homey person. Although I'm an outdoor person also, but I'm a homebody person. What I love in a home is I wanted to have a plants, of course, with flowers also, in a certain area for coffee, because I also love to drink coffee. It makes my mood good, and gives positive energy. Aside from that, I would also love to have an area for meditation. You know, meditation is very useful nowadays to get those stresses away from our lives and to rejuvenate once in a while. Aside from
Okay.
that, mhm,
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So that's the end of the speaking part 1.
Okay,
that's only
now.
that's only part one.
No, the partner of all the speaking. No. I mean, we have actually supposedly 2 parts, but we'll see if we have time to do that because we prepared 2 speaking simulated tests. Okay, so that's the first part of the simulated test, but of course that would comprise of part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, if we have time, then
Okay.
maybe we'll try to do it, but we'll see. So I think, well, I can say that you understand the question, which is really important. In every
Mm,
speaking exam, it is important that the examiner knows that you have good control of the or good command of the language. Like you can really understand what the examiner is asking you about. That's very good.
mm,
And I can
mm,
definitely say that you have that skill, like you can understand the question, so that's an advantage on your part. Okay, very good,
mm,
very good.
mm, mm,
Um, aside from that, you're also giving them good answers to the questions, which are really directly addressing the question. Okay, very good
mm,
as well for that, and giving you good points for that. Okay,
mm.
but like I said, there's always room for improvement. There are things that we
Okay.
can improve, and I'm happy
Mm,
to say that with just minor things, I think, just some things that you should always remember. Okay. So I think with part 1, if my memory serves me right, the question was about, okay, I'll try to recall. So I think you were asked about what's your responsibility? Okay, so you talk about are you working or studying, so you're working at the moment, and what's your responsibility? And you talk about you being a medical surgical nurse, right? So, as and you said you're taking care of critically ill patients. Okay, so I think all nurses are taking care of critically ill patients. So I think it would be best if you can just say something about, a feature or something that a medical surgical is doing, unlike with
I,
other
I've
examiners.
said medical surgical ICU.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. But medical surgical,
Yeah.
and now because this medical surgical ICU, at least if you were not, maybe good thing that you were cut short, but if ever you were not, explain a bit about that. Like you
Okay.
said, critical ill patient. So at least you can give me a specific and concrete example of what kind of patient you're handling. Okay, because it's
Mm,
always good that they can check actually and verify the information, not because they doubt what you're saying, but it's good that they can also learn out of you, like from whatever it is that you're saying, they can learn out of. Usually examiner gets to learn also from their examinees. So at least when you say medical surgical ICU, okay, then after that you just tell if the examiner did not cut you short. But like I said,
yep.
if examiner is convinced that you can actually answer the question, no problem about it because they will just simply
Mm,
ask for a follow-up question. Okay. And then
okay.
how do you like your job? You said probably I like it. So you're not sure that adverb probably, of course, there's this
Oh my
certain
God.
degree, right? There's that certain degree
Mm,
that you are
mm,
somewhat not really fully convinced that you like your job. So at least you can
oh,
use a more appropriate adverb, I guess. Okay, I am
oh,
very. You can maybe say I'm very satisfied. So the word "very" would maybe convince that you really like your job because you said probably, but I think the rest of the sentences really, express how you love your job. So I don't
yeah.
think, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think probably would be a very good word. Uh,
Okay.
next is what is it that you dislike about your job? And yeah, you were right, the scheduling. The problem about
Mm,
the scheduling with when you are a nurse, since you're understaffed. So you can make mention about that, the understaffing and also the scheduling that is actually the cause and effect, right? The understaffing is actually the cause, and the effect is, of course, the schedule is just, it's overlapping, right? It's
Mm-mm.
overlapping, and sometimes
Yes.
you don't have ample time, and you're even asked to extend more hours. Okay, so I guess with like I said, with the response, I'm actually happy about it, but there are just some things that you can improve. But I think the most important part that I want you to be more confident is that with your delivery, I need you to be more enthusiastic or more convinced, because what you're saying is right. What you're saying is true. So
Okay.
if, like, I buy what you say, not just what I see. So try to sound more convinced that you know what you're talking about. So you
Okay.
can
Okay.
at least project to them. There's this a bit of there's this conviction. Okay, there's this
Mm-mm.
conviction, like, because I think you were not
There,
confident. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, there's, I think, a really interesting point here. Is that the one question which he answered really, really well was the question. Oh, gosh, I can't remember my own questions now. But do you agree that there is a right age for young adults to stop living with their parents?
Yeah,
Okay, so this is actually probably the most difficult question
true.
out of them all, but you answered it the best. And
Yeah.
why? Because you had this real conviction. I guess you're in Saudi Arabia, you're away from your family and everything. So
Mm,
so I guess it comes from the heart, and you can really tell,
Mm-mm.
no, I don't agree with this. And
yeah,
the
yeah.
question was, do you agree? Okay, so really you answered this one beautifully, yeah,
Yes.
because I asked you, do you agree? Now, most people will just say, well, yeah, probably when people get older, it's better for them to get their own house. But you really answered the question with conviction. And
True.
Mm-mm.
no, I don't agree. I think it's better to, for families to keep living together,
Mm-mm,
because because you never know what's going to happen to your parents. Okay, great answer. I really
Mm-mm.
like it.
mm,
It came from the heart. Whereas previous, I mean, I think with the tests, you started really well, you kind of faded away, and then you came back really well at the end, which I think that
mm,
that this probably shows you kind of started well. You got a little bit nervous. You thought, oh, this
yeah.
Yeah.
what's this examiner
Yeah. I do.
examiner
I do.
did, and so I could
uh,
feel this, like the up and down
yeah.
Ah,
as it went
Fluctuations.
along.
Fluctuations.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
really important thing is you obviously this, for me, you don't have a problem getting a 7 on this, but still we're just going to say, okay, just that little bit more conviction in your answers.
Mm-mm.
We were looking
Mhm,
the previous one about, do you enjoy your job? One thing I'd say with these beginning questions, because they're rather simplistic questions, it
yeah,
actually makes them quite difficult to answer.
yeah.
Because, but the way you answered the one about your parents shows how you should have answered the other ones. Actually,
True.
do
Yeah,
you
true.
like your job? It's, you know like, put in a little bit of your heart and soul into it, which sounds like something you don't want to do, but I think it
Mhm,
makes it much
mm.
nicer if you have conviction behind what you're saying. But I can feel the nerves coming in and out as you went through. Some questions
Uh,
are, more difficult, but the one I picked out particularly, where you just answered it, I think this is the perfect way to answer it.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I like it.
so,
Like,
so I just came in on the point you're making there.
yeah,
Chat
true.
to
Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. And also, like I said, you should be convinced that what you're saying is actually right or true or correct, and so there's no point to have yourselves buckle up and have convinced that
Don't be hesitant. Yeah. Don't be
yes, and
hesitant.
yeah, because like I say, I buy what you say, not just what I see. So at least I
Mm-mm.
can hear you saying it. And just few things that I also want to suggest. Like for example, if you're going to be asked about how easy it is to find a place, like to live in your country, right? That was the first question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
uh, you can also start with at least say something about your country. And you said it's very convenient. It's very easy to find, right? It's very easy to find a place there. It's not really something that you would have the difficulty, right? How easy it is. So at least you can convince me as well that it's really easy, and you can at least tell me, because how is asking for an adverb, which means is it really convenient? Or when you say it's convenient, like you can just go out and after 24 hours you can buy a house, and you can at least you can tell me
Mm.
that certain degree that it's easy
Is
really to find a place.
specify.
Yeah, because all I'm saying is that it needs to be specific and concrete. Like I said, you can even get 7.5 or higher than that. So why would you stick with 7 band score when you can do more than 7 band score? Okay,
Mm.
because I know you
Okay.
can do more than 7 band score. So now I'm just telling you that there are ways to improve your language, to improve your statements, your answers, and I can definitely say that even getting a 7.5 band score is not impossible for you. So very good on that point. But please take note on the things that I want you to really improve on. Another,
Mhm.
what options are available to young couples looking for accommodation in your country? So the options, I think you were right when you said for rent, right? Or maybe that can be an option also, like they can either rent or buy a house, okay? Because like I said, you need to be very keen. If the question is asking for plural, you need to give plural answer. The question is
Mm.
asking what options are
So I
available
have
to
to
young.
state.
Yes, ma'am. So you need to at least tell me what are the options, which mean you need to say something like more than 1 point. Because what
At least two.
options? Yes, ma'am. You don't have to give me three. I'm happy with two. So at least
Okay.
you have that, you are cautious that the examiner wants more from you. Okay. And that examiner is also happy that you are not just answering question, but you're really making sure that you are addressing it right. Okay, so what
Mm.
options? But of course, if my question is what option is available, then by all means, just mention one. No problem.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
yes. And then
Okay.
what are some of the pleasures involved in making a home for ourselves? So the pleasure of what? The comfort of having your own place to live, like you don't have to rent, you don't have. So there are ways of answering this,
Mm.
but I felt like you were hesitant that I
Mm-mm.
don't think I got it right.
Mm-mm.
Something like that. I felt
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that. So, and then the thing about this question is it requires you to give more than one answer, because the question is what are some.
Pleasures.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Okay, exactly. So at least you can give me more than one, but like I said, try to hide any hesitation you have in mind, any doubt you have there. Just keep it to yourself, okay?
Okay.
Again, if you can convince me more, and I know you can, because like I said, you're giving me right answer to the questions. But
Mm.
please show more. Show that conviction that what you're saying is really
Okay.
right by your delivery, okay? By how you deliver your point. So I think that for me is a 6.5, but you can also have chance of 7 band score. Okay,
Okay.
congratulations. Yes,
Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
Yeah, thank you very much, really, for your time. And I wish we could have more time, but I think, Brian, you have anything to say before we end?
I'm just interested to hear from Janelle how she felt it went, and which was the most difficult part of the of the questions, or of the process.
Uh, oh, as you've said, I was starting very well, and I felt it. And from time to time, I have these fluctuations of
Mhm,
hesitations. But the part two, I guess,
mhm,
I had some difficulties with the part two and the part three. When you were asking me about the pleasures of the
mhm.
Yeah.
of having the home, because I was not really sure if I got the question really right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part. But like I said,
That
even if you're, hesitant,
mm-mm,
just show to them that you know what you're talking about. Because sometimes even if we know
okay.
what we're talking about, just because we show to them that we have that kind of hesitation, they would feel it. So
Okay.
try, because like I said, believe me, you are doing right. You're doing well.
Mhm.
Okay? Yeah, very
Okay.
good. Yeah, very
Thank you
good.
po.
Yes, and also for your part two, I was kind of nervous about it because, like I said, you need to address every sequence. Like you need to follow each question, like how they are organized. So first question,
Mm-mm,
you need to mention that, but you answered the who you would like to live it on the latter part, and I thought you would not address it, but you were able to
mm-mm.
follow through with it and said, oh, I love to live with my family, my son. Very good. Okay. At
Okay.
least you felt that, because I was nervous. Oh
Yes.
my, you missed one question there. And so very good that, yeah, before you
Mm-mm,
end your part two, you're able to say something about who you'd like to live there with. Okay.
mm-mm.
I think you
Okay.
talk about countryside. Maybe you can, aside from talking about countryside, maybe it's also good that you can make mention about the country, right? The place where you live, so you can
Ah,
add more description to it. Because if you're just going to be
to
focusing on
be
the
more
countryside,
specific. To be
yeah,
more
yeah,
specific.
yeah. So you
Okay.
can add more adjective, because if you're just going to be talking about countryside, you'll tend to box yourself with that. Okay, oh, it's quiet. It's what else? But if you're
Uh,
going to be talking about like a specific country or specific
mm-mm.
place that you'd like to live in,
Place. Yeah.
yeah, I think
Mm-mm.
like for example, Palawan. If you want to talk about Palawan, and so at least there's just also this kind of imagination I have in mind. What kind of countryside she likes to live in? Okay, so
Okay. Okay.
again, at the end of the day, it's just making things more specific and concrete. But you
Okay.
did a good job tonight. This morning. I'm sorry. I always miss that.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
the time zone is always, different. So
Uh,
I get, yeah, myself, I forget it. I miss some parts.
no
Anyway, thank
problem.
you very much.
I enjoy my time with you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thanks
it
so
so
much,
much.
Janelle, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good
I
day.
wish you I wish you reach more nurses like me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Brian and I are always happy to do this. And
Uh,
I know that the kind of, feeling of being able to help is really different. So we can all,
mm,
like for me, I can go to sleep now. Okay.
yeah.
It's
Can can
10:35
can
p.m. here.
I can I have one more request?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
can I can I take photo for the three of us
Oh
if
yeah,
it's
sure.
possible?
Yeah, sure. Please. Would love to. Would
even if
love to.
it's only virtual.
Oh yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Okay. I'll take the photo now. One, two, three. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you very much for your time. Brian, thank
Thanks.
you. Get well
Ciao.
soon. Get well soon. Bye
God
bye.
bless.
Bye bye.
Bye.
God bless you.